fourth grade teacher, am I going to be teaching second grade? Am I going to be teaching fifth graders? If there's no fourth graders in this list, now what do? Then I'm going to, where am I getting the materials to help these kids? That was a concern that I had immediately, is like, where am I getting this? But I don't know about anybody else. We just got this a couple weeks ago. It was on an email.
Last week.
Oh, last week. We were on vacation. But so that, I mean, I don't know where, and I like the idea that we have some input. I would stay after school, okay? I would stay after school, because we do anyway. So I would stay after school, gladly. If anybody in my class, and you know this, Mrs. Eckman, if anybody in my class asked for help after school, I would stay. I would stay, even if it's, I mean, it's just, none of these teachers in here would not do that. Would not do that. But we're, I don't know, there's a lot of holes in this that I'm just not sure of. But again, I'll serve on the committee. I'll volunteer.
I will. Me too.
Okay. You'll get a lot of volunteers because we want to help. There's not a teacher in there, and there's a bunch of teachers here who would not want to see progress with kids. There's not one in here.
Any other public input? Did you get the three? I saw, I think, 3 hands for volunteers. I think I saw 3. Four? Okay. Any other discussion?
I'd like to speak, Glenn. I personally have a hard time making this concept concrete. The way it was presented in the letter, it seems to be like this is what's going on. It's a concrete concept. And the reason I have a problem with that is because, actually, Mr. Eshelman just said it. When you go to college to be a teacher, and these young bucks that just introduced themselves tonight, they realize this. You have a passion for kids, and you do this without having to call the Viking Academy. We had a Viking Academy here, 94, however long I've been out, 22 years, I don't know, 1994. I had Todd Newhart as my Algebra 2 trig teacher, and he was a brand new teacher, just like these guys, and every time we had an Algebra 2 trig test, me and 3 of my buddies would come in an hour and 15 minutes before school started, and he would teach us the unit quick, because we didn't pay attention during the unit. And it wasn't because he had to, because it was this Viking Academy. It was because he cared about us. This is a guy that started his career here. Now he's the assistant superintendent at Lower Dolphin. And Steve, if you're asking for names, there'd be a good one. I know you said earlier, but I'm just saying. But anyway, he is. And that is every teacher at Northern Lebanon would do that. The new ones will, because they care about kids. That's what you sign up for. You don't sign up to teach to get rich. You sign up because you enjoy being around kids. You enjoy being around kids. You enjoy helping kids. My kids at Hershey know that if they need me, the best time to get me is at 6:45 in the morning. 6:45 to 7:23. I'm there for 40 minutes before school starts, because after school I'm coaching. Now, that's not even, I don't have to be there. These teachers are already here, and I guarantee if a student that was needy said, could you come in at 7:30 and help me? There's not a teacher that's not worth their weight that wouldn't come in at 7:30, other than if you have a child conflict or something. But teachers will do this, whether it's written as they have to do it for this Viking Academy or not. That's just the nature of the teacher. You help kids, you enjoy being with kids. That's why you went to school to teach. So I just don't like the whole concrete, this is how we're going to do this is what it's going to be, because I think they all do it anyway. And if a kid would ask, they would be there. Mr. Eshelman said if a kid asked him to stay after school, he's already there anyway, and he would stay later. And I'm sure if that same kid couldn't make it after school, he would come early and help them before school. One thing that was stated earlier, this would be overseen by administrators. And so I guess that means administrators, you'll be there by 8 o'clock every day, and you'll be making your rounds, just if that's what's going to happen, that needs to happen, because the leaders of this need to be there to, to make sure it is going smoothly. One thing Mr. Saylor said, or two things he said, that this could actually help some parents with transportation issues, and he said, or daycare needs. Well, we're not here to help people with transportation issues or daycare needs, and that could be a problem with this. Like, I'd hate to see it used as I'd hate to see it abused, I should say, and not that would happen a lot, but I found it interesting when you made those two references that people with transportation issues, this could actually help them, or people with daycare needs. I mean, if kids need tutoring and all that, I'm all for it, but those two needs, that's part of being a parent, figuring those things out. I think Dr. McNary said there was teacher input, but then she said that the three principals came up with this together and then sent the letter out. So really, the input came after after the teachers were told this is going to happen. So I don't really consider that teacher input. So that would be one of my problems. Let's get some teacher input and a late timeline. If this just came out within the past week, it's hard to get teacher input, when people are on vacations and whatnot. So at the end of the day, I just think teachers are already doing this at Northern Lebanon, public education, everywhere. When you teach, you want to help your kids, and if that means coming before school, you do it, and if it means coming after school, you do it. And heaven knows if their teachers already have to be there by 8, they'd be willing to do it anyway. So I don't think we really need to have this in writing and all that. That's just my 2 cents.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Melissa, Trevor, and John for using the summer hours, what they're designed to do, to think out of the box and come up with a creative idea to really help our students. I'm going to vote the opposite way. I think I read the memo, and maybe it's because I read a lot of memos at work and expected just to follow what's set to be done. I got the mission, I got the vision, and I applaud you. I think this is a step that really is going to help our kids. There's certain people in the community and on the board that are concerned about our standardized test score. I think this is a way to help improve that. It's a way to customize learning for each and every one of our students. So if I'm weak in typing, I can go in early. If I'm weak in reading or English or whatever it is, it gives me an opportunity. We have all the teachers there because they're under the contract day. So we have a group of great teachers to help me with my problem and help me get involved. I took it simply that if I'm in 4th grade, I'm going to go to my 4th grade math teacher, and hopefully my math teacher has the resources that he needed to teach the lesson the day before that I didn't get, even though I was paying attention, and get that. So I really thank you. I hope you don't take this as too disheartening of a setback for this. Some great programs aren't improved the first time around, and sometimes decision makers just don't get it, what is needed on the ground. And so again, I want to thank you for your hard work and your efforts this summer.
Good thing I'm not an administrator, because if I was one of these people back here after the meeting, if this is voted down, I'll bring all my paperwork, all my planning, all my work I did, and lay it on the board's desk and say, hey board, if we can't do a good enough job and you guys can do better, then go ahead and do it. If I were them, I'd wash my hands of this. They've worked hard on this. It looks wonderful, looks great. We're here to help our kids. If we can't support them in doing what they're doing to try to help our students, then we have a problem sitting right here around this board. So guys, you have my permission to wash your hands of it. They probably won't, but you do, because that's exactly what I was. If I don't have the support of this board, then I'm trying to make it better for our students.
Any other discussion?
Just briefly, that fact sheet that went out to the teachers after they got their input, could all of the board members receive that? I don't know if it's called a fact sheet or whatever it was that they came up with. I don't think that I received that directly.
familiar with what you're discussing, but if there is one, I'm sure they'll get it to us. I'd like to piggyback off of a couple of things, and I'm assuming now there is no more discussion. I can weigh in. The first thing I'd like to pick up is, Dave, that I applaud you for thinking outside the box. I applaud you for coming up with a program that's going to help our children. But I want you to take that idea, and I think that's what Amy's motion is saying. The nucleus of what you've come up with is brilliant. Okay? We just want to make sure that it doesn't fall on its face because either you don't have teacher support or the planning and implementation. Having a smaller pilot program, I think, will make it an excellent program, probably one that will be revered by other districts around the state. So we're just saying we like your idea, at least I am. I'm saying I like your idea, but let's take it a step back, regroup, refine it, test it, come back, and then we'll be all ready for it. So to me, it's more, this is in no way, to me, saying, you know, we're not smacking your hands, we're not saying you did a bad job, we're saying you did a great job, you came up with an excellent idea. We want you to refine it a little bit more. I've worked in corporations, and I come up with an idea. They took it, said, great, now refine it, do it, and bring it back, and come back and do it again. So I'm not seeing this as an attack on you at all. If anything, I think it's saying that, you know, we like your idea, we just want to see some refinement to it, and then we're all for it. The other thing, though, when you're doing your evaluation with the teachers as far as going over and the committee and everything, I would like you to look at the value of planning time. Planning time is something that is in the contract, and so I think that so many times we look at planning time and say, okay, they get 45 minutes a day. That's it. We're gonna give them whatever we can to fill that other time in. I have seen the more the time you have to plan, the better your students will do, the better your lessons will be, the more excited they'll be to come back the next day because you've had time to create a really awesome lesson. And so, yes, I like this program, but I don't want to just take it and just go right to the edge and say, okay, we're going to take away that extra planning time because it's not in it's contractually they have to do whatever we say during this time. There is a huge value, in my opinion, to planning and being able to take that lesson that maybe you see in the reading story and take it to the next level where you're actually thinking through and doing all kinds of neat things with it. And that's what's going to get that kid that can't read to get excited and to want to come back and say, Mom, you can't believe what we did in school today. And it sounds like, oh, you just walk into the classroom and boom, you just start teaching and you don't even have to plan it. That is, you can try that, but you're not going to get the results that you're looking for. So when you're looking at this, it's just my little soapbox that planning time is so important that let's not just try to figure every way we can get everything out of the teachers. It's kind of like one time somebody said to me, oh, you know, when you guys are teaching and you don't have recess, you know, you should be doing, you know, we should be giving you something to do so that, like, teach some more. That 15 minutes makes all the difference in the afternoon. You got your plans, you got your stuff, you got everything organized. At least I do. I kind of lay everything out and I get everything done. And then I'm excited when they come in that I know I'm going to be able to present in an organized manner. Without that, it's just, you know, you're kind of like, you've got to do everything in the morning, and then if that pile moves, I don't know about you, those piles move, and then I'm looking around, and where the heck did I put those? So anyway, that's just something that I would say. I love the idea. I think that with some refinements, it's got a lot of potential. But when you do this, also look that we don't necessarily have to do the full time. You know, let's look at what's optimal for the best education that our teachers can provide by giving them time to plan for that, not just at home. We all do it at home. Anyone as a teacher, you're going to do it at home regardless. But there is time when you just need to be in your classroom and you need that time to organize. And that's my 2 cents.
Viking Academy.
Oh, I thought he did. Yep, roll call.
Snell,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Bixler,
No.
Howe,
No.
Erdman,
Yes.
Lum,
No.
Murray,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Hackman.
Yes.
6 yes, 3 no.
Is that all for the programs committee, Rachel? I think you've extended your allotted time.
But this, we had talked about it in January about our SNAP allotment. And we said that when the new school year started, we would talk about it again. What we were doing, just for people who don't know, in the past, the school has spent $180 per month on food for the board. After each board meeting, $90 per meeting. And so what we did is we saved half of that money and put it towards an ice cream social. And the other half of the money we used for a snack for everybody who comes to the board, not just for the board. Well, 70 of that, and then $20 of that if we had an executive session. I got some subs for people who were hungry. So, do we want to continue doing that this fall? Do we want to go back to the way it used to be? I think that we just need to have some kind of direction as to how we want to do that. So. Any thoughts? Do you want to keep it the way it was the last 5 months or whatever, or would you like to go back to what was done before?
I mean, for me, I certainly I got here at, I don't know what time it was, 5 something, and we can be here till, I don't know, 11 tonight, who knows? And so I like that if we at least know we're gonna have a really late night, that there's some opportunity for us on this off nights, that whether it's $20 or $30, I'm thinking 20 is really.
Okay.
But otherwise, I love the ice cream social.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Keep the ice cream social. The only thing is, are we going to wait and do that in May? Or are we going to do something at Christmas?
Ice cream's not good at Christmas.
What's that?
It's too cold.
Too cold at Christmas.
I know you had a little committee going where you had, could we do that again and
Yeah.
maybe brainstorm some ideas?
So keep things the same for right now, and then we'll decide how we're going to do that. Okay. Okay.
All right, Property and Service Committee, Director Bixler.
What's the snack?
There is ice cream. There, and it is fresh ice cream. It's not from the ice cream shop. So it's fresh ice cream. Yes, we are having ice cream in the back.
I'm gonna be the nice guy. Any new teacher that was hired tonight, if you want to leave, you certainly can. If you want ice cream, you can stay, okay? To my committee. I move item A.
Second.
Discussion.
I have a quick discussion. So are we positive that those 200 laptop keyboards could not be used, like there's not one salvageable one for keyboard? I just want to make sure we're not really throwing away junk, because it doesn't take much on a computer to just be able to, I don't know.
Can we find that out, Dr. Bell? Can we find out if?
Well, that's what it says, it's submitted by the technology department. If you want me to second guess them, I mean, that's what they submitted, so.
Well, if it's beyond repair, obviously we need to throw it out. But if it's outdated, we probably could still, no, they can't do all the fancy stuff with technology, but they could practice typing on something that's outdated.
Could any of those resources listed that we utilized for keyboard.
As long as you don't want to connect them to something, I'm sure.
So they're not connectable, is what you're saying?
I'm saying everything that we have has a keyboard, but we don't have a keyboard, that's not going to fit.
Any other discussion? Not roll call?
Bixler? Yes.
Howe,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Lum,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
England,
Yes.
Hackman,
Yes.
South,
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
All in favor.
Move item D.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call?
Howe,
Yes.
Erdman,
Yes.
Lum,
Yes.
Murray,
Yes.
England,
No.
Hackman,
Yes.
South,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Bitzler.
Yes.
8 yes, 1 no.
Dr. Bixler, is there anything else from Property
No,
Service?
I'm done.
You're done. Superintendent's report.
Only 3 items at this time, the district enrollment figures as of right now. In addition to that, the 2016-17 focus goals, leadership, management, as well as the district and the most recent newspaper articles.
Just looking over, I appreciate you putting together the goals. The one thing that I think is important to me, and I know you're always asking just direction. I really feel, I think a lot of the things tonight really brings to light the fact that we need data-driven decisions. Data can look different. It doesn't mean test scores all the time, but I think to have something that we can really look at and reflect on is extremely important. So that's the one thing that I would say. The other thing in terms of that, when I read over your goals, I was just reflecting on just time-honored traditions and your thought on changing the opening your last year. I know personally, the first day of school, I walk into school, I try not to put my teacher hat on, but I walk in and I'm dreading starting the year. And then I see faces of high school teachers that I haven't seen in a year. And the hugs and the laughs and the breakfast time with those people, really, you can't take that away. And then to listen to the superintendent just motivate and bring me up and listen to my colleagues speak. When I leave there, I am ready to teach. I am ready to face it. And while I read and I see that technology is so important to you, I think it's important for us as a community to reinforce the community that we're one district, but there's still a face-to-face component that's so important, that personal connection. So it's just something that's really weighing heavy on my heart, so I'd really like you to talk to that a little bit.
Talk to what?
What, in your last year, why did you decide to do it via?
Well, you all got the email, and then you actually saw, as some people referred to it as my fireside chat. It's actually a challenge to teachers to utilize things, and quite frankly, I'm very proud of the teachers that, to this point, I've had a lot of emails of support to do this. I've had a lot of emails, and I've actually had somebody that sat in front of me with their iPad and said, "I think I already answered your challenge," and showed me exactly what they're going to do with the students and put it on their website. So for me, whether people decide it's a success or not, or why I do what I do, I've been challenged by actually some of the people who sat in this room and said, why don't you create something like that? You've talked to me a lot about it, and I really want to know and hear after you're done. I want to remember what you said. I want to remember what those videos were. I want to remember who sang that song that you put on there. So I think you'll get a chance to see it as a board when everybody else gets a chance to see it. And maybe you want to hold your judgment until it's done.
Don, will there be time for the United Way to do their presentation?
United Way presentations already, we've been contacted. They're going to have theirs It'll come up after mine or yours. I ask you and the union to put something together as well, so you have that opportunity.
Any other comments or questions? Report of the representatives. Career and technology. Steve, what's up?
The notes are attached. They did give me a newsletter, but we moved in there in a box. I don't know if I will find them, but
That's right.
well, I don't have those to give you, but we did have a meeting in June, nothing in July, but we will be next month.
I trust your move this summer went well. Everything.
Not sure.
Okay, intermediate unit 13, Stacy.
No report, but we have our next meeting tomorrow night at our Lebanon office, so I'm thankful to have a little bit closer this month. That's not usually I'm driving to Lancaster, so thankful for that, and I'm sure there'll be new exciting things that I'll have to report at our next meeting.
Thank you. Amy, the EITTCC.
Meeting will be next Wednesday.
Stacy, legislative.
Nothing new.
We did have a budget.
Yes.
Good news. Okay, and then back to Amy for the Parks and Recreation.
Meeting will be Monday at 6:30, and there will be a representative and also the solicitor talking about the shutdown process.
Just a quick note, we do have an executive, oh, wait a minute, I'm so sorry. Is there a
Diana, please.
Diana Cleese? Yes. Sorry, Diana.
This is Baumberger, something pass out little packets I made for everyone. Good evening. I'm excited to talk to you all this evening about a wonderful resource I think you will all appreciate. It's called Partners for Public Education. Partners for Public Education is an excellent tool for parents. When I heard about this, I was excited as a teacher and a mom. Working with children and raising my own is an incredible and challenging task, especially in this fast-paced digital world. I remember when I had my first daughter, Alexandra, I developed a close relationship with Google, or Siri for some of you. I had answers, ideas, and support at my fingertips. As my daughter prepares to enter kindergarten, I know I'm going to be faced with a whole new set of questions and concerns, the same as many parents in our district. Partners for Public Education can help parents navigate these waters. Partners' mission is to bring partners together to provide them with information about public education and create connections with public schools and communities across Pennsylvania. How does Partners accomplish this mission? Parents submit an email address and then receive a monthly newsletter about different topics pertaining to public education. Topics in the monthly newsletter address issues such as student testing, health and nutrition, extracurricular activities, safety, art and music, and tips for parents. These are all topics I'm sure many parents are interested in knowing more about and would appreciate some insight. Partners for Public Education can provide factual information and helpful tips. I, as well as you, know that a successful education cannot rely solely on what goes on inside the classroom. I'm a firm believer in the saying that it takes a village to raise a child, and I have heard many of you make similar comments alluding that it should be a community effort. I think your commitment to strengthening this district and community is evident in your adoption of the phrase, building Northern Lebanon together because together we are stronger. So I ask you two things. First, being leaders and excellent role models for our district, I would like you all to sign up to receive your monthly newsletter. I ask that you demonstrate to the community that you are willing to learn more for the betterment of our children and this district. Plus, once signed up, you can use the Access program for great coupons and discounts. Secondly, I ask for you to support a movement in the schools to get as many parents signed up as possible. Thank you.
Thank you, Diana, for that information. And is there any new business? Just a reminder, we do have an executive session following this, so I'll give everybody about a 10-minute time to gobble down their ice cream, and then we're going to go to the recess. This meeting is adjourned.